Well, hey, y'all. Happy Thursday.
Hey, happy pre-Friday.
Right.
It is.
Welcome to another awesome episode of Backcountry Couples.
It is.
Episode 32.
32.
Halfway to 64.
It is, honey. Isn't that exciting? And I'm Colleen.
I'm Johnny.
And we are the Keel Quest.
Yay.
I don't know what that was all about. Are we pulling a little like Canadian action to this or what?
Oh, babe, all the time.
We might.
Well, there are Canadians in the house.
There are Canadians in the house. Hi. Well, I don't have a toque on. It's just saying. Sorry. That was a little my Canadian thing. Anyways, we have a weekly live stream, right? Backcountry Couples every week where we chat with like-minded couples like us, right? Who love to paddle,
trek,
camp,
and overland.
Yeah.
Wow, that was like
that was actually really good. Boom,
we didn't even rehearse that. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
That was off the cuff.
I know, but that's what we love to do. It's just us being us, you being you. We're real people doing real stuff, which I think is pretty awesome.
Right. Just like sitting around the old campfire.
Yeah. Which I can't wait. A couple more, yeah.
Well, we don't have to wait.
No, we don't have to wait, but we will, which is good. But anyways, like John said, episode 32 this week. So last week was 31, which means you can catch the rewind. So the rewind was Matt and Michelle, actually from Michigan, just north of us.
Just stone throw away.
Yeah, and they are
my Scooby Scout and Artemis, the Trail Huntress.
Trail Huntress. Yeah, and they are an overlanding couple who have a Subarus time two. I wonder if I can say that. Oh my gosh. But anyways, and actually we're gonna get together with them next week Sunday. Next Sunday. So I'm excited. Not this coming
Sunday, the following Sunday.
So I've never met them, and so totally excited to meet those two in person and hang out and do some fun stuff. Apparently we're gonna be like,
check out last week's episode and watch the rerun.
We're gonna run like some dunes or something like that. I don't know. I'm excited.
The big sand dunes of Silver Lake.
Something a little different, which is kind of fun. But yeah, so obviously we're on YouTube, right? So and
Instagram.
We're on Instagram, and we have John's gonna put that up there. Just kind of our little deets, right? We have an email, so KeelQuest. I can't even say it.
KeelQuest. Cool Quest.
The cool kids.
We're the cool kids.
That's right, we are. So we got Keel Quest, Camp Keel Off Grid, and Jack Forster. So obviously Keel Quest is us two. Camp Keel Off Grid is our journey to purchasing property up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We are on the hunt. We have been looking and looking and looking. We were very close the last 2 weeks, but unfortunately that just didn't work out in our favor as far as like legality stuff. So that was kind of off the list.
Yeah, gotta be able to have that.
What we're trying to do up there
niche that we need.
So, which is unfortunate, but yeah, follow along on that. And then the other is Jack Forrester, which is our Subaru build, and John's got some kind of fun things.
He's on Instagram only
happening with that. So excited for that. We got a little bit of mail this week.
Yes, but first we like to thank our sponsor, McQuick Fire Starters.
We do.
Patrick and his team out there.
Right. Here we go, honey. So he has donated 4 of these amazing all-natural, zero chemicals made in the Pacific Northwest fire starters. They are thebomb.com. I always say that because they're amazing.
They burn for 20 minutes, all natural, super lightweight.
So
if you want a little trail, fire on the trail or whatever.
Perfect for backpacking and for anything. We actually have them in our vehicle. We have them in our day pack. We have them like when we're on the go, we just grab them, which is really amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you, Patrick and McQuick.
So
go to them.
Go to McQuickFires.com, and then if you whatever you order, whether it's the fire starters or swag, make sure you use the code KeelQuest.
Yep.
Put a little space between the word Keel and Quest, means no space, no discount. You have a space, you get a discount. 15%
Which is kind of nice. So thank you, Patrick, from McQuick. So both of our guests are going to, get a little 4-pack of that. So we love that, which is fun.
Absolutely.
And they're also going to get one of our little stickers, which that is a green tree, but it's a green screen. Just use your imagination. Just saying. Which is fun. So we're going to do that. And then.
But wait.
There's more. Are you ready?
That's my line.
Is it your line? Okay, do it again.
No.
But wait. No.
Buzzkill.
It's over with?
It's over with.
Okay. So everybody has like little journals, sticky notes, pieces of paper, whatever that looks like, right? Where they write stuff down, lose them, whatever. Keep in your glove box, keep in your backpack, keep it on your kitchen counter, on your coffee table, whatever. I made a little backcountry couples trip planner. So what it is just like a little, there's 2022 calendar. This way, there we go, this way. And then just straight up like notes. Okay, so you can just, keep it in your glove box. That's what we did. And we just, as we were like driving and we're chatting and we're like saying, hey, why don't we try and pencil in this date for this or whatever that looks like. So
it's primarily when you're on your journey to your destination, you come across things that you don't expect sometimes. And it's like, hey, we need to check that out next time. So,
right. So to kind of a continuation of that. Anyways, we're each of our guests are going to get one of our little backcountry couples trip planner too. So I'm excited to share that.
Woo-hoo!
I know. So we got mail.
We did.
We got two exciting things. One is everybody knows in this like outdoor community, the sticker game is crazy. Everyone like wants a sticker. Like it's wild. So this is from Ghost Mule out in Montana. Where is he? Is it going to come up there? It says, there we go. Everyday backpacker. So thank you to you for the sticker. We exchanged that, which is fun. And then we also got, I'm excited.
Oh, can't see
Oh,
it
you can't see it because it's yellow.
Hey, but you can see this one.
So we are going to Glacier in September.
Yep.
And
this is actually the Glacier National Park.
So we got the Glacier
and Waterton Lakes National Parks.
Right.
Totally illustrated.
So excited for that. And then John also got
I got this little guy here. So it's some really cool little day hikes. Come on, focus, work with me. Come on, there we go.
Yeah, excited. So super,
best easy
super
day
excited
hack.
for
So
that.
it's like just like a little field guide. So detailed maps and stuff like that, and information on each of the little routes that you can take, distance, key points, and such like that. So we're
traveling kind of all around the park. It's gonna be partial kind of like overlanding, then partial kind of like
it's dispersed.
And then like day camping and stuff like that. So and day hiking rather. Sorry. But yeah, I'm excited to get that kind of in the works because apparently we need to start booking our campsites for the end of September, which we know that is
yesterday
is a thing. Exactly.
And Mr. Dan Woolman, if you're in the chat, please, you need to hit us up so we can get going.
Right. We want to say hi to everybody. Okay.
Right.
So who do we got?
Who do we got? I'll tell you who we got. We have
start from the very beginning, honey.
Yes, dear. My gosh. Crack the whip.
Right.
So Doc's not going to be with us. He has some family time he's doing, which is awesome. We have Tangent Trails. Hello. Canoe for Change.
They're from Texas. I think he's from Texas.
Canoe for Change.
Hello, Glenn and Carol.
Awesome couple.
They have a beautiful book too.
Awesome
book. I should have that. That's okay.
All Terrain Coffee and Camping.
Jason, whoop.
Oh, of course, there. Davidson Outdoors.
Hey, that's nice to see you.
Our level's in the house.
What? He's not drinking beer somewhere?
Yeah,
what the heck?
He's at the corner bar.
Oh, there you go.
Just for the record, I do not like that bar.
Oh, okay. I know where you're at. All right. Hey,
yeah.
That's fun.
Outside Comfort Zone. I know those people.
We do know those people. Yeah. Hey.
Mr. Dustin DeWin.
Hello.
Mad Hippies.
Oh.
What?
I want everybody.
Hold on. Let me get through my list first.
Okay, we're going through the list.
Let's see. Who else is here? You got Dustin. Oh, Hike with Mike's here.
Hey, Mike. He always says aloha. I'll say aloha back. I don't know why you say aloha because you're not in Hawaii, but I like that.
Hey, you can say aloha.
I guess you can.
It means hello and goodbye.
I know. That is true. Okay.
And that's it.
That's it? Okay. Oh, no. Did you see the camping couple? Ontario camping couple. I saw them in there.
There they are. Yep.
Beautiful.
They were hiding underneath all
They were hiding. Coffee. So they were hiding under Terrain Coffee. All right. So welcome everybody. Super excited. But when John said, "Oh, we went to the thing and there was Mad Hippies," I would like everybody, and we would like to personally congratulate Debbie and Miller from Mad Hippies, and they are celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary. So yay to you! Super, super exciting.
Super.
Super. It's pretty extra. I agree. And they're coming on our show.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to kind of, chat with them and obviously talk about 40 years. Ay.
Right.
So pretty awesome. So if you love what you see, and if you're new here, Oh,
hit that subscribe button. Ding that little bell.
Ding the bell. Do all the fun stuff. Absolutely. Hang out.
You know
like
what
you
to do.
see. Absolutely, for sure. And I don't know
And tell your friends.
because you know what, all the cool kids are here. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it's freezing here in Michigan today.
It's not. It's 40 degrees.
It was snowing where John was, but anyways.
Right. Yeah.
I got my hot tea.
We had 3 inches
Actually,
of
hot
snow
water.
up there, but
Yeah.
it was still fine.
Uh-uh.
It's called Michigan.
Right on. But anyways, here we go. Super excited tonight. Thanks for everybody for joining us with the chat. A little twist on our backcountry couples.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Oh, Mom's in the house. Hi, John's mom. Which is good. So we are excited tonight to bring you this backcountry duo. And here we go. You ready, honey?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm doing it. So tonight we have a power adventure couple with us.
Ooh.
Right?
All in caps, too.
It is in caps. Despite not having actually been on trail together, this is about the process of hiking. Process of hiking, designing, and creating the newest and longest trail in America. They have developed a way to manage their friendship, build an organization, and still have a lot of fun, despite or maybe because of the insanity that comes along with hiking. Not only are they creating a trail, they aim to create a conservation corridor. So trace your goals on a napkin, wipe off your brow with it, and let's get started. Welcome from the American Perimeter Trail, Rue and Leilah Grace.
Hey, guys.
Hey, thanks so much for having us.
Hi, and hi, John's mom.
How are you both?
Thanks so much for coming on the show tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be here, and thank you for the gracious kind of introduction there.
Absolutely.
I like picking up stuff like that. I'm glad you loved it.
Cool. I love the napkin reference. It's fantastic.
Oh, I feel like that has to have, honestly, that almost needs to be a t-shirt slogan. When I was writing this out, I was like, that needs to be on a t-shirt somewhere. Like, I feel like that I would buy that t-shirt. I like it.
Would you like to know the story behind that? And
yes,
I won't be long-winded about it, but
yeah, let's hear
it. So I had come up with the concept of the American Perimeter Trail like 10 years before I ever stepped foot on it. And I didn't plan it during those 10 years. I didn't do anything with it really at all. It just was in the back of my mind. And when it came time to leave, there was a nonprofit at that point in time that I partnered with a little bit. And they said, we can build you this website so you can take contributions, because I didn't have any money and the organization didn't exist yet. And so they said, we need a map for the front of the website. So I scribbled something on a napkin and took a screenshot, and that's what became the American Perimeter Trail. And I did, and I wiped my brow off with it and threw it, and that was it. You know, I was on trail a couple of days later.
And that's how it goes.
There
you go. You got another Sail the t-shirt right there.
I will take that to Happy Cat, who is our designer, and have him whip up a t-shirt with that. He'll love that idea.
I feel like it's a thing for sure. So we always love to say like how we got to know our guests, right? And last year, we saw Rue. You were on Backpacking Podcast with John Kelly and Jeremiah, right? Which
awesome
was just like a straight up like 1 hour giggle fest.
Yes.
It was crazy fun.
I don't know who's worse, John or Jeremiah.
I don't know, but the three of you were just like infectious, and we were just like, who is this guy? How come we haven't known about you? What is the American Perimeter Trail? How do we get involved? How do we get to know more? And I was just like, we just need to know. And then we followed, what you had been up to. And then Leilah Grace reached out to us and kind of had us thinking outside the box, because typically we had been, our backcountry couples has been like a couples thing, like a romantic thing, right? And she goes, you know what, like, we're not a romantic couple, but we're this couple that support each other in the backcountry, and are trying to make stuff happen. So here we are. So thank you for that. Like, I just love that idea.
So awesome.
I know. So how did you guys meet?
Oh, okay. This sounds interesting.
Should I get a glass of wine and swap out my tea?
Well, so we didn't really meet, and I'm just going to intro, and I'm going to let Leilah pick this one up. But
Okay.
we didn't really meet. I had been doing, whatever your spiritual practices or whatever it is that you believe in. I was out there and I was trying to form this organization and hike the 25 and 30 miles a day. And I rarely ever had phone service, and I didn't have any money, and I didn't have any hope. And I was alone for thousands of miles. And I just was like, there's this horrible song from the 80s, Send Me an Angel, and and I just like kept on hearing this song in my mind every day, asking for help. And then my back went out. So that's kind of where I leave off.
That's great. That's great. Usually one of us tells the story. We've never told it in tandem.
I like this though.
Yeah. So my turn. December 2019. I hadn't been on Instagram that long. He had popped up in my feed of like, people to follow. And I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool. Like, I just want to follow backpackers and hikers and outdoor people.
Right.
And he pops up in my feed this random day in December 2019 with this big, long post about how he's hurt his back. I'm a physical therapist.
Right.
So I just send him a message. And I'm like, hey, don't know what's going on with your back, but I'm a PT, happy to help. I've coached people virtually through back injuries before. Like, just, if you're interested, whatever. And, he messaged me back and we just worked through his back injury. And, just here or there, kept in contact a little bit. And through this whole time, so it's probably mid-December through about Christmas, as we're kind of working through all of this, I have this little voice in my head that keeps going like, you should offer to help. He needs help. Like, and it just keeps, if you've ever had that experience, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It won't quit. And I was like, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, just for reference, I'm a single mom with 4 kids.
Yep.
I was working one full-time job. I had a part-time job, and then I had an occasional weekend job at that point too.
Whoa.
So I'm busy.
You're busy.
I'm very busy. I'm still relatively new to backpacking and hiking. I'm like, I don't exactly even know what I can offer to help, but let me throw it out there. So I just send him this message that says, hey, I think you could use some help. Are you interested?
And I said, actually, my back is feeling much better.
Yes.
But we weren't talking about the same kind of help.
Yeah, no,
Right.
we weren't. And then when I clarified, like, it seems like you could use some help with what's going on. Do you want to tell them what your response was?
Oh, I don't. I'm.
He responds to me and says, I can't pay you. I can't
That's
even
right.
pay myself.
That's right. That is what I said. I can't
And I
pay you.
said-
I can't even pay myself.
Right. And I said, that's okay. I wasn't looking to get paid. I
Mhm.
was just offering to help.
Right.
And then I got suspicious.
Who are you anyways? Yeah.
Okay.
So, it I don't know exactly what happened from there, other than at some point I'm like, you know what? Here's my phone number. So I send it, and this is all through Instagram messaging. That's all it. It's all DMs. So I send him my phone number, and then I send that with a qualifier of like, by the way, I don't usually send random strange men my phone number.
Like, here's my number. Right.
A little disclaimer
A
on the
little
bottom.
disclaimer on the bottom.
With a disclaimer on the bottom.
Right.
That's
right.
all.
Oh,
So that was kind of how we met. And then we had a first phone call, maybe 2
Okay.
weeks after that.
Probably.
Yeah. And my favorite part of that story is it's a Monday night and I am exhausted because I've been off from my regular job, but I've worked my part-time job and, I've just done the mom thing all day. And
mhm.
I'd had an appointment in the morning that had just taken a lot out of me. And I'm making snacks and lunches and doing dishes, and my phone rings and it's this Oregon number. And I'm like, this has got to be that dude.
No way.
And I'm like, I don't have the energy. And I just sent it to voicemail.
No.
I did.
Oh my God.
I did it because I was like, I just, you hit those points and you don't have anything left in you.
Yeah.
And then the phone rings like 20 minutes later and I'm like, you got to pick this up. Like, you've got to pick this up. He's called back, like he's out on
Yes.
trail. Like, and I picked it up, and I always like to say, and I don't know how he ever feels about this. I said the first 5 minutes of the phone call were kind of a cross between a job interview and a first date.
Okay.
It was just this like
Interesting.
weird, like as we kind of feel each other out, and then
It was-
everything clicked,
It was
and
really
we were on the
awkward.
phone for like 3 hours. Had no idea. It was just like we'd known each other for years after
Which
those
is
first 5 minutes.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love when that happens.
You know, there is no guidebook or like really
You asked that.
kind of a description of what someone helping you coordinate a trip, or you them being the front country support and you being the backcountry scouting. Like, you know, we've had to make it up as we go. I couldn't give her a job description, you know.
No.
Like what is it that you need done? Like if I think about it too hard right now, my head will just explode. So, you know, just I don't know. We'll just start.
Yeah,
We'll
we
start
gotta create it. Yeah. Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
My role started with just kind of, he's like, why don't you try helping me out with social media? And that's kind of where it started. And
Right.
within, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it spiraled very quickly from there.
Mhm.
Very quickly from there.
Yeah, to fundraising, to
Instantaneous fundraising.
sending instantaneous fundraising, to sending packages, to resupplying, and so like I take care of the backcountry stuff as far as finding the route and doing the backcountry skill work, and then and I'm and then I'm supported by Leilah with whatever whatever poor decisions I make out there.
There's been a
So,
few, but most of them, they haven't been decisions you've made. A lot of the things that have gone on have just happened.
I
That's
Okay.
just what it's been. Things have just happened.
Mm.
Cool. Were you guys outdoorsy growing up as kids and such?
I mean, I grew up camping with my family and
Okay.
hiking here or there, but yeah. I think Rue has me topped on that.
I don't know that I have you topped. I mean, I had a quick understanding of an insight into myself at a very young age from getting lost in the woods, and it showed me some things, and for some reason, it's always been kind of a safer place for me. So even when I was a kid and I was lost in the woods by myself, it wasn't. That could have just been traumatizing, and that could have been it, I guess, for me. But instead, it encouraged me to go in another direction. But
Very cool.
Right. So tonight, obviously, we're going to share about the American Perimeter Trail. We want to say what's next for the American Perimeter Trail, and we want to know how we can help the American Perimeter Trail. But tell us about the American Perimeter Trail. It's almost 12,000 miles, which is 20,000 kilometers. I love saying that because
It
it's
seems
that
more.
much more. Exactly. And actually, John has a map. You want to put that up there, honey?
What's that?
You got a little slide on there.
Oh.
Scroll down.
Oh yeah, the map. Yeah,
Right
right.
there.
it's not our baby pictures, is it? Okay.
No,
Right.
no. So so Rue, tell us about exactly what's going on with the American Perimeter Trail. Give us the, what's up with it.
Okay. What is?
How
Well,
long do we
so-
have?
Yeah, how long do we have? So, as part of the organization, we have a mission and a vision, and essentially that does include us keeping close as we possibly can to the perimeter of the contiguous United States.
Right.
And I completed the Triple Crown years before this. I guess it would have been almost 15 years ago or so at this time. And so when I finished the Triple Crown, the Pacific Crest Trail, and the Continental Divide Trail, and the Appalachian Trail, I didn't have an idea of like, I need to go bigger and better. That never really crossed my mind. In fact, I wasn't really interested in that. I wanted to go shorter and slower, to be honest with you, was kind of my idea. And I did for years. But I had this concept of instead of the Triple Crown, maybe there could be a way of having a trail that was truly infinite in a loop, in a circle, where there wouldn't be a terminus, where there would be no beginning and where there would be no end. And what I found through traveling through the country is that the USA is not the USA. The USA is a collection of microcultures and microregions. And we really, a lot of the times when our country has had to unify, it's been at times of like war, many times. And so I wanted to do something that was unifying, that was connecting, that was metaphorical in the sense of it being a loop and connecting communities around the country, that was positive. And so the map that we're looking at is the route, mostly the route that I've walked.
Okay.
This is not the American Perimeter Trail, though, so this is going to get confusing. This is a COVID version of,
Okay.
and there's more to be said than just that, but I'll try to weed through some of this, and I'll let Leilah add in some of this.
Okay.
But essentially, like, you're going to notice on this map, it's not going into Florida. The American Perimeter Trail is going into Florida.
Okay.
Okay. You can see this does not go into New England. The American Perimeter Trail is going into New England.
Okay.
Now, I've already backpacked all of these areas on other trips and other expeditions, and so I'm very familiar with those areas, and it wasn't real informative going forth for the long-term conversation, but when I began this trek, there was not a global pandemic.
Right.
And then I crossed the Mississippi in the South, and suddenly I realized there was a pandemic. And Leilah, what else would you like to say about, what we're looking at here?
I think one of my favorite things that I heard about our route, and it was from when we interviewed with the Off Trail podcast, was that this map is not gospel. So really, this is an approximation of what he walked. And if you are interested in kind of seeing the progression of this, if you hit up our YouTube channel and look at either the 1 year or 2 years on the APT videos that are there, you can watch the progression, because it did extend out to Florida. It did extend all the way up into Maine, but because of COVID and 1,000 other things, we did have to change it, and we have plans to change it. So, for the website, to go back to that napkin thing, we just needed a picture.
Yeah, the napkin. Look, the napkin looked way different than this too.
Okay,
yes, it did. It did. So if you go back and watch those videos, I actually have a time lapse in the beginning of what that napkin picture looked like, all the way to essentially what we look like now. And then what's coming up on our website is going to be one of the next phases is to show you what the next proposed route might be.
Okay.
So it's a constantly evolving process.
In fact, I'm leaving here I'm flying out in a couple days to go redo my Southern California route. So right there, if you're looking at that map, you just had up there already, that whole Nevada Death Valley piece, that's gone.
Wow.
We're not doing that. It's called Death Valley for a reason. I'm lucky. Right on. I'm lucky to be here speaking with you now. So we are not. So we are not doing that. So
this region right over in here.
Yeah, what you can see is this isn't exact. It's approximate, but I kind of went to Southern California, turned back around, and went back up north, and then cut across the southern part of Nevada there. And in doing so, I crossed Death Valley. There's not a trail. And there's not a through hike, but I came up with one, but I won't share it because it's just, if you want to do that, then that's on you. I'm sorry.
Right on. Yeah, for sure. So when you're going to go back and you're going to kind of do or re-scout out, right? Like the certain areas of the trail. Mm-hmm. Are you also looking for this conservation piece? Because you had mentioned that it's going to be a conservation corridor.
that is our mission. We are a
Mhm.
501c3 nonprofit
Right.
for conservation, and our
Right.
whole mission really is to create this continuous conservation corridor
Mhm.
that's looping the contiguous US there. So as much as we tout the trail and what Rue has been doing, we're really about creating this conservation corridor, because all of us that are outdoors know that land is going, it's going quickly. And if we don't save it, we're not going to be able to use it. But we want a conservation corridor that we can all use.
Right. There we go. Let's build it. That's the term. I love it, Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Martin. Thanks, Martin.
Hi,
And
Hey,
Martin.
Martin. We love
uh,
Martin.
We love
and-
Martin too. Hey.
and so it's kind of, on the face of it, you would see us as a recreational or even a backpacking organization,
Okay.
and we are a conservation organization that
Okay.
is using recreation as a means of building enthusiasm and the will of people in the public lands to protect this land and bring it to the public sector, what isn't already in the public sector.
So you're just
Very good.
using your straight up maps though, right? Like maps, Gaia, a compass.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Were you just
Yes.
using
Yes,
like
he
straight
does.
up maps, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Like I'm
Well,
a map person.
Well,
I love it.
I wouldn't have thought any other way, because we didn't have cell phones when I hiked the Triple Crown.
Okay.
So, and there was, like essentially like back in the day on the CDT, you just sent this guy some cookies and he would send you a CD-ROM, and then you would print out like hundreds of these maps on paper,
Mhm.
and they had notes on them, and there was never a single route. There was always like 5 routes going all over the place, and you picked one. And and then that's just basically, and you just had your compass and your map, and you got lost all the time. You got lost for days, or maybe you weren't lost, but it just wasn't quite what you were expecting, or like the hillside wasn't bad that you needed to traverse for 10 miles, but the briars weren't on the map, so you didn't know, that sort of thing. So I guess like mainly with APT, there's a couple of videos or like pictures of me at night sitting in the tent with a series of maps, road maps, just whatever I could find, paper, and I'm just going over them with marker and pencils, and I'm just drawing stuff all over them.
Right.
I'm going to sleep, and I'm waking up the next morning, and usually like in the night I kind of figured it out, or I like packed up and just started heading in some direction. Was like, I flip a coin here because I'm just not sure. I wasn't always sure. And I would like to say that I knew all of this, but this was a scouting mission. This wasn't. There were Leilah didn't know where packages were ever going.
Ever. So if you hike an established trail, you get a guidebook and it tells you where the towns are, and it tells you where that is. When he went up the East Coast, and when he left the end of the North Country Trail in Montana, it was him looking at a map going, I think I might get to this town over here. Let's see if there's a post office in that town, because not every town has a post office.
Right.
And when it was, the height of the pandemic, we were trying to find post offices, but we were trying to find small freestanding post offices. So invariably, it was always this hunt of like, where can we find a post office? Then there are post offices that have no idea what a box is that says hold for hiker on it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, most of the time we didn't have any issues with the post office. We lost one box out of all of the boxes.
Yeah, that's right. We did.
Huh. One. Okay. Yeah. And I can tell you it's like somewhere in Ohio.
Yeah, I think it's someplace that
we don't even know. It's not shocked.
Not shocked.
And it was one that we had pulled up, and something didn't seem right, but I didn't have time, because when he was doing a lot of these things, invariably he would call me on a Saturday morning at about 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Oh, God.
And the post office closes at 12.
Okay.
So I've got an hour to find a post office in or around this town, because he's not hitchhiking. He's got to walk, fill the box up, get the slip ball made up, and get to the post office before it closes.
Wow, talk about being a little under pressure.
I know,
A little bit.
Yeah,
It was a running joke for a while. It was fun, you know. It just
we had homework the entire time.
yes.
Oh,
There was never a moment, and even when I would say Layla would laugh, this would be the big joke. I would laugh and I would say, this next section, okay, the next 500-600 miles, I know exactly where I'm going, and I have all the post offices and stuff picked out and all this stuff. And she would just laugh and laugh and laugh because
Yes.
it would change all the next day.
Be like, sure you do. No.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much.
It would change the next day.
Pretty much. I
So-
never knew where he was, and I didn't worry about it. Like, I was like, he's a professional. He knows what he's doing. Like,
Right.
it's my job to get the box to him that has all of his supplies in it.
Right. And so,
Yeah.
Rue, you are a professional hiker, right? Because you did the 3 major trails, and you're part of like, I don't know, like the groups, right, that are involved with the Triple Crown and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So did you talk with them about or hear about like legislation, like things that may have changed within the 3 major like the three major like routes kind of thing? You know what I mean? Well, you were planning yours out.
Yeah. Okay. So the way that works is, so those 3 trails are not independent of the National Scenic Trail System. So
Okay.
something that affects the National Scenic Trail System affects all of the national scenic trails. Not,
Right.
It wouldn't just be for those 3. Like, there wouldn't be a piece of legislation just for those 3 trails. However, depending on state legislatures, and like, for instance, the Continental Divide Trail is involved in some political advocacy right now. And so it's more like legislation and those sorts of things will affect either individual trails or they could affect the entire National Scenic Trail System, but there wouldn't be anything necessarily. There could be, because ALDA does oversee the Triple Crown, but really, and I don't know if I'm answering your question. I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I just thought, because there's so many different like aspects, right? And people in different trail associations to kind of chat with. I would think they would be ever changing. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's always changing. And so, like, unfortunately, the work. So I finish here in Bend, Oregon, the last week of July, and that's really when my work begins.
Okay.
Because everyone sees the backpacking piece and like, oh, he's done.
Right.
That's actually when my life work begins, because I've had these constant interruptions with my organization work because of my backpacking.
Yes.
So as far as, unfortunately, there were a lot of handshakes, there were a lot of meetings, and there were a lot of events and things that did not happen because I ended up in the middle of a global pandemic.
Right.
And I walked right past the North Country Trail Association's main headquarters in Michigan, in Lowell, Michigan.
Yep.
I walked right past it. They were closed down. No one was there. No one was available even for phone calls because they were shut down. So all those opportunities were missed during that time. However, I mean, it's not like we haven't had some great conversations, and recently, even inviting into our board meeting, we had a gentleman join us, and I think it's okay to say that a partnership with the Pinhoti Trail in Alabama, as far as sharing some footbed with them.
Cool.
We will be sharing some footbed with the Continental Divide Trail in Montana and also in New Mexico, because the APT crosses the Continental Divide twice.
Right.
And then also something that's very exciting is when I got to the Appalachian Trail, they were asking long distance backpackers to stay off the trail.
Right. It was shut down.
Yeah. I never stepped a foot on the Appalachian Trail. So we've tried to make that clear. No matter how many times we say it, it just doesn't quite resonate. I never stepped a foot on the Appalachian Trail.
Right.
I made my own route up through the Appalachians.
Right.
That's why if you look at the map, anybody that's really familiar with the AT is much further east than that. He didn't go up that. We really tried to make it a point on the map to replicate what it is that he walked. The AT does not go through Kentucky. He walked through Kentucky.
Right.
And the route that I used going the whole way up the Appalachians, I did not see another backpacker.
That's crazy town.
Not one. So there is an organization called the Great Eastern Trail, and we are now partnering with them to see, because part of the APT is it's just fine for me to go and draw a line on a map and just connect a bunch of existing trails.
Right.
But remember, that's not our mission, because our mission is not to connect a bunch of existing trails. Our mission is to create a conservation corridor that can be used for recreation. So in doing so, so in doing so, you know, as far as the mission going forward, it's more important for us to use areas that aren't already being, I don't even want to say it. I'm going to say it, loved to death, whatever.
Right.
You know, just busy. I love all those trails. I hope to spend more time on them. I'm part of the problem too, but I also want to be part of the solution. And if you can hike an Appalachian Trail through hike and not see another backpacker, it's something kind of unique and new.
Never happened. Come on.
It won't last very long, but
no.
But that's what he did. So
that's what
perspective.
That's what Earl Schaefer did when he through hiked the Appalachian Trail. So my Appalachian version was okay. So be careful what you ask for, because after I through hiked the Appalachian Trail, I was like, wouldn't it have been so cool to hike it back in the day, like back when Earl hiked it, and it would have been the same. It wouldn't have been a 2-track. There would have been a lot of fire roads, just connecting fire road to fire road with some 2 tracks until they got everything off the road. The APT will be no different than that. You know, that will be part of our process. Every long trail has to go through that. But I thought, you know, wouldn't that be interesting to like not see backpackers all the time, or there's no trail towns. Like you go into a town and you're just some dude with a backpack. You're not a backpacker. You're like a dirty backpacking man.
Right.
You know, and
dirty person with a backpack.
Like a vagrant.
Very much a vagrant.
So I always thought, wouldn't that be interesting to do that? And then I freaking did it. And I was like, oh no.
But Leilah Grace, did you then so if Rue's on trail, did you reach out to like the towns that are on like the Appalachian Mountain Range and the Great Eastern Trail and the Great Allegheny Passage? Did you reach out to those towns ahead of time to say, hey, Rue's making his way this way, watch out for the guy, you know what I mean?
I wish I had. I did not. With everything that was going on, I did not, because at that point, I mean, until it was him and I doing all of this until September, or maybe August 2020. I don't even know. So through the height of all of that, I can't think when the other person, Danny, who was one of our original board members, came on. We didn't even form the organization until he was actually back the first time. So it was just him and I, and it was just, I wish I had like even thought of it. I was more about, okay, I've got to make sure we've got this food here so I can get this box, and what am I posting on social media, and how are we going to make money, and does he have a bat, and you know, what's going on with that, because 2020 in the spring in the Appalachians, it rained incessantly. He doesn't talk about it a lot. It rained incessantly. I would get a text from him pretty much once a day, because when you're on the trail in the way that he was and trying to avoid everybody, and you know, COVID was so new to all of us, he didn't want to be a super spreader. He's not hitchhiking. He's not going into town. He can't charge his phone. So I get a text about once a day that pretty much says like, I'm alive, and you know, it's raining again.
Right.
Again, every day for like 4 weeks, I think I pretty much got a text that it was raining. So I just didn't have the capacity to deal with like calling ahead. I didn't even think about it.
Right. And but it was so weird. I mean, people were, you know, stocking up on Lysol and toilet paper, and you're on trail, and there's no stores are open. You can't go do laundry. You can't charge your phone. You can't do showers. You know what I mean?
Well, yes, but we chose that. Because so here's the difference between this is what happens between being a recreational backpacker and a professional backpacker. So a recreational backpacker, you're on your own dollar, you're on your own time. If they tell everyone to get off the Appalachian Trail and you say, you know what, forget you, I'm going on the Appalachian Trail, I don't care. Okay. Some people did, some people went home. There was a mixed bag. I don't know what happened there. It's none of my business. Point is, we didn't know how to keep me on trail at that point in time because it looked like all of my contributors and sponsors were going to drop me, and sponsors did break contracts. Okay. So my trip was essentially over when the pandemic started. So we purposely put me into severe isolation for months where I didn't go into town. So it wasn't that stores were closed. It's that we picked standalone post offices. They exist all around the country, and they're not attached to towns or anything. They're just in the middle of nowhere. A lot of them are old, like railroad or stage stops that are left over that are layways. Okay. And so I would walk to these post offices, and so once a week or once every 2 weeks, I would get a box. That was it. So it wasn't just that we weren't like connecting with people. We purposely were keeping me removed so that I would continue to have sponsors and contributors so I could continue to do my work.
Right.
And
keep everyone safe and not die in the process. Well, right. Yeah.
Right. So. But I mean, all you've had, like all the time. Oh, whoop. Get out of there.
What are you doing?
Go on to my share thing again. What I was going to say is that all you wanted to do was hike. I want you to show something. Here.
What? Just a sec. You just.
I know. Talking. I hit the wrong button. But all you wanted to do was hike, right? I mean, that was it. You wanted to backpack, get out there.
Right.
Scroll down, honey. Scroll down.
But honestly, like I didn't know that I would use the Appalachian Trail because I had so many.
That is Rue to a T.
This is your brain on backpacking.
This is your brain on backpacking.
This is actually, and this is what's interesting about this photo is this was in the sleep lab. So they actually took this one of me while I was sleeping.
Oh, is it totally you?
No. But
I wish it was. That would make it so much better.
I agree, right?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. No, and the method that he used, he came up with himself, and we had multiple conversations before, we talked through and he landed on this method, because I said, there's got to be a way to do this. I just don't exactly know. And he didn't exactly know. And we just kept talking through, and he knew enough of the land and the maps and what were possibilities to make it happen. And, every time we talk about maps, all I can ever think of is this one phone call. And there was either a storm coming in or a storm had just passed. I don't know. Okay. He calls me in a panic because I had sent maps in the box, and I think I had put them on top. So when he opened the box, like the wind and, like the maps were everywhere. So he's calling me. I'm trying to figure it out on my laptop, and I have no idea exactly what he's referencing. He's stressed. I'm stressed. Like, it was just this mess of things. And one of the big things I took away from that was, when I packed the box, put the maps at the bottom.
No.
Put them at the bottom. Don't put them at the top.
There you go.
So don't because after one of those times I was like, do you want me to laminate them? And he was like, no, don't laminate them. Then I can't write on them. I'm like,
you can't write on them.
Then I can't write on them. Right.
Yeah. That's true.
I just thought it would be helpful with all the rain, but that was me being very, very inexperienced.
No, very thoughtful though. Very thoughtful.
It is absolutely.
No one likes soggy maps.
No. No. I mean, I think all of our maps are all pretty much waterproof though, that we get.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So has there been a signage picked or designed that you guys are going to utilize for the trail?
Like, you have a logo.
So I mean, like a blue blaze or a white blaze, something like that. So
is it going to be purple? It's my favorite color.
Get out of here.
What? Oh wait. Are you being facetious right now with the purple?
No, we're being
purple's my favorure color.
Okay, because that's Leilah and I's favorite color too.
Yes.
Okay.
You can't see it in the video, but there's purple all throughout my hair.
Yeah, and every time Leilah and I do an interview, purple comes up somehow. So it happens every time. Yeah. And there it happened. It just happened. So
it just did.
There you go.
So we go back. Yeah, we've definitely gone back and forth on this because in my mind, I'm like, well, we don't need blazes. And then, I get told that's insane.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so, no, I haven't come up with an idea with a blaze, but we have the logo, and, a lot of people have had fun with it. A gentleman who is from your part of the country has loved to, he's made a brand with it and sent me the brand and has branded a bunch of stuff. I do not have one on my body, and I don't intend on doing that. But we have a logo, and I mean, as far as how this thing's going to get marked, some of it will be usurped, just by if it's sharing footbed,
right?
And we obviously are going to try to share footbed where it's going to make the most sense, and then add new footbed where that is going to be more advantageous to the work that we're doing. So, but I don't, so you guys, but I like I'm kind of with the purple, like I'm feeling it. So
we got you covered.
It's on the list. I will say that my kids would like us to have rainbow blazes, and I said nobody's maintaining some type of rainbow blaze.
That's hard to do.
I was like, no.
I like the way they think, but yeah, no. Oh, actually, here we go. I have a question from Hike with Mike, and actually, it was going to break into mine. What percentage approximately would be road walking? So that was one of my kind of questions. I'm a pedestrian. I'm a non-driver. I've never driven a day in my life. So I always say that I'm a natural hiker, because that's just why I'm a walker. You know what I mean? So that's a big portion of road walking, right? Especially in the southern part, isn't it? Like getting up into Ohio.
So the way I want to address it, I think I know what I'm not sure. Okay.
What percentage?
What percentage of it is currently road walking? I think if that's what he's asking.
Yeah.
Hopefully so much of it that there's a reason for the conference,
Okay.
I mean, essentially, like, that is no road walking, no need for the conference. If the trails are already established in these different areas, then we don't have as much work. Then we're just doing kind of maintenance at that point in time. So, but as far as like the road walking, oh man, I would say, if he wants a percentage, I've never even really considered it. I'm guessing it's probably 20% would be my guess.
That's not terrible.
Something like that.
He made a really concentrated effort to use anything but the road when you were out there. Even in Texas, where there's not a lot of public land, he was trying to take easements and gas lines and the North Country Trail. I remember you talking to me about it. You're like, the trail actually goes over here kind of on a road, but there's public land right over here. So I'm going to hike through the public land versus the road.
Right.
So, what he scouted and actually walked versus what might actually be trail they're two different things here.
Okay. Yeah.
It's hard. So it's hard to give a number on some of it.
No.
Yeah. It is. It's really difficult, but I mean, I find it encouraging because people are like, "Well, wasn't there a lot of road walking?" And I'm like, "Hence the conference."
Yeah,
that's the point. Like,
but you didn't do a lot of road walking, because we get that question a lot. Like, "Oh, you must have done this all on roads," and I'm like, "Nah, he really didn't do a lot of roads. He really tried to stay off of them as much as he could. Especially for his own safety. When you're in a community that's not used to hikers and backpackers, or even anybody walking, that's a major safety issue.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It makes me crazy. Absolutely. So you've already mentioned it a couple times. You kind of made it through Michigan. You made it to our state, and you hit the NCT, and you were like, "Yeah, the promised land."
Yes. No, I felt real good about it. I really did. I'm not trying to, well, I don't care. You guys can get competitive over the states. You can say Ohio stinks or whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter to me, but I get to Michigan, and what I'm really excited about is I've never been to the Upper Peninsula, and I've never spent much time in Michigan, and I get to, an area where there's a Boy and Girl Scout troop, and I guess there's a shelter. Well, there is a shelter, excuse me. There's a shelter, and they're waiting there for me with goodies and signs, and they have signs up all over the place and stuff. I was already past them. I passed them the night before, but they didn't know. And it was a surprise for me. So I didn't know they were even there. So, and I don't know these folks, you know, they were trail angels. So I get into town and I call them and say, hey, how's it going? So am I staying with y'all or whatever? And they're like, oh yeah, where are you? And I'm like, well, I'm in town already. And they're like, you're in town? So, so what I had to actually go back to like where the signs and like where the celebration was, which was super cool. And these kids, we got a bunch of bikes. We went for a bike ride that was great for me because I hadn't been on a bike in a while. And so I'm just riding around with these kids they're on the North Country Trail because that's bike accessible there.
Right.
And they just had all of these cool signs set up for me, welcoming me. And it was completely unexpected, you know, obviously, or I would have met them. You know, it was such a surprise that I missed it.
Right. So Leilah,
that's so awesome.
It is awesome. Did you contact the NCT then? Like, how did these people know you were on their way?
One of our members, I mean, she wasn't a member at that point, but one of our followers was fairly big in the NCT. And as he was getting closer, said, hey, you know, what can I do? And I said, you know, I had made a little, well, I know it wasn't even that point. That was the next trip. I said, if you could just post that he's going to be out there, like we were far enough along in the pandemic that we had thought it would be safe. And she just posted in some NCT Facebook groups and it just took off from there. We had people emailing us. I had to make a little spreadsheet of like who these people were and their phone numbers and what state they were in and what city. And, you know, I would just try to get him the information based on kind of where he was going to be. And that's really what it was. It wasn't me at all. I just organized it. It was one of our wonderful Carla members. We have a couple, but it was Carla with a K. She just took off with it. And it's one of the best things that could have ever happened to us.
And I have to say something that's really vital here.
Yeah.
So I was not always well received places at all. Okay. We've covered that. We've covered that a little bit, you know, detained, shot at, all that sort of stuff. Okay. Because of confusion about what's going on. I wasn't staying with Trail Angels because of the pandemic. And when I got to Michigan, things had opened up.
Yes.
And I was talking to Leilah and I said, I desperately need some sort of human contact.
Right.
Like something like we've got to start having like Trail Angels almost every week because like I am just so tired I've been by myself talking to myself for a year now. And
I had picked him up in there. And so I had seen firsthand. So when he got into West Virginia, I was supposed to get him when he got into PA, and whatever happened, I can't even tell you what happened. I ended up getting him in West Virginia, and, you know, he stayed with us for a few days. And, I was able to go see him, you know, a couple weeks later in July in Ohio. But so I saw firsthand, you know, what I'd been hearing it, but it was the first time. It was the first time we'd actually met in person. That was fun. Here's this man I've been like working with for the last 5.5 months. I've only ever seen, you know, in a video, like, cause we couldn't video chat. We couldn't do anything. We finally get to meet in this parking lot, but he hadn't until he had stayed with us. He hadn't stayed with anybody since Arizona, Texas, maybe West Texas.
West Texas, I think
West Texas.
Yeah,
I think so.
So you could just have to picture it. Look at a map and look at West Texas and then look at Pennsylvania.
Right.
So he did all of that without ever staying in somebody's house, without staying in a hotel, like any of that stuff. So he was really in need of it.
Right.
You know, just creature comforts aside, just that human connection, that in person. As much as we all connect on social media and we do all of this, there's just something so different about being there in person and getting all of that extra feedback that you don't get. And he really, really needed that. So
I like
and
the
there's
warm
some
and fuzzy too.
yeah.
and there's something about seeing the same face more than one day in a row. And I realized that, like, seeing a face for the second time didn't happen that entire time. So the only people that I met on APT that I knew, like, initially was some folks in Texas I hadn't seen in 22 years.
Wow.
So every day, or maybe not every day, but whenever you see people, you see them and that's it. You don't see them the next day. You don't see them ever again. You don't.
Right.
So even if you just stay with someone for the night and you would have dinner with them that night, and then the next day, the same person would be there. In my mind, it was kind of like almost, well, it was a luxury, It was my luxury item.
Right.
So.
And then you come to Michigan and you meet Buck and Jen. He's love at the NCT. And
Buck is just wonderful.
then him wanting to like support the APT. Right?
Well, yeah,
yes,
there we are.
Yes, there it is.
Right?
And this was
That's a
some of the
good-looking
best
dog.
timing, I have to say, because Rue and I both will tell you we do APT work 24/7. There is
Right.
no off switch.
Right.
And our phones go on do not disturb at night. From very early on, I put Rue as kind of one of those emergency contacts, so that if it's 2 a.m. and he needs somebody, he can call me. His phone calls come through.
Right.
And that's just been how it is. And when he was getting ready to meet Buck and he's in Michigan and that, I'm exhausted. It's, about to be August 2020. This has just been, we all know what we went through on our end of the pandemic, and I've got my kids and I've been doing all of this. When I said, I am taking my kids on vacation, I am not doing anything APT for a week.
Whoa.
We are going to Acadia. I am turning my phone pretty much off.
Oh, okay.
You are going to be on your own. And we really did. We cut a hard line, because I
Wow.
needed it.
Okay.
And I was slightly terrified for him. I really was, just because I knew how much he relied on me and I knew things were so much better.
Right.
But we're really good friends. So, if something goes wrong, he's not only calling me because it's a business thing, he's calling me because it's a friend. Like, it's just somebody that you trust. And
Right.
that was when Buck came in, and Buck, he had sent us a message and was just like, he's got to stay here. I'll take a package for him, all of this. And I'm like, great. I don't know who you are. What's your address? I'm sending you a box. I send it to Rue and I'm like, he's going to have your box. His name's Buck. Off you go. Good luck. And that was just it. I was on vacation that whole time. So he got a chance to hang with Buck and Jenny and all of that. And
that is so nice.
And none of me interfering. He was on his own.
And then there was a conversation with Buck then about creating like shelter number 1.
That's right.
That's a big deal.
It's pretty cool. It's called bin walking.
I know. Yeah. Is it a grain bin?
That's right. That's why it's called bin walking.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I think it was, a grain bin. Okay.
Yeah, I think materials cost $100 for this thing
Oh,
because
that's
it's
fantastic.
all
Look at how fancy
reclaimed.
it is.
It looks like a 1970s fireplace.
It probably is.
Because my parents had one in my basement.
I feel like it
growing
looks
up.
like that. Yeah.
Ours was yellow.
I just, I'm jealous because I wasn't the first one who got to stay in it.
Okay.
But I will. I don't know when it's going to happen. Hopefully I'll see you guys when I'm up that way.
Right on.
But this is going to be like a Mecca journey for me, to go to the APT's first shelter and spend the night
for sure
in bin walking. So
is there criteria to have a shelter on the APT? Like, does it have to be so many, like, can it be right on the APT, or can it be like 2 miles off the APT? Like, what's the criteria for that?
So as far as we are a grassroots organization, which means we rely fully on our contributors and their talents and their gifts. We do not have large corporate sponsors and we don't answer to them. So So we maybe do things a little bit differently. We talked about this a little bit before the interview,
Mhm.
but as far as like the shelter, I'm not going to go to a public land area and insist that we're building an APT shelter. That's part of regional planning. This is something that organically sprang up just as the rest of everything else has. Everything has kind
Okay.
of been this way. So I assume it's not going to be the last, and it'll be interesting to see what other people come up with
Well,
as far as
yeah.
APT trail shelters.
Right. And then he has this on his property, I think, too, right?
The shoes. What's priceless is
out.
what's inside. I don't know if we have the picture of what's inside.
I don't have the picture.
That's probably a good thing.
Is it the outhouse?
It is the outhouse, but my favorite part of the outhouse is when you flip the lid up, there's an APT sticker on the inside of the
Oh
lid.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Of course there is. Aim
We love
here,
Buck so
no.
much. He is just so wonderful. And all of our members and builders have been so wonderful to us. And everybody, this really is this grassroots effort. And that's
Right.
such a big part of who we are. As much as we talk about this big conservation effort and creating this this experience for that, it's also about creating these communities and connecting these communities.
Right.
Mhm.
It's to me, it's so integral of it, because anybody that knows Buck or a lot of the people, especially on the NCT, there's a lot of pride that they're there and they work with the NCT. One of my own friends, she works with the NCT, but she lives in Ohio, but she manages a like Wisconsin chapter. Like she does her trail maintenance up there, like nowhere near where she lives. And it's just this great thing. And it's something that we are really working to cultivate within the APT, which is that just pride and ownership and community. And, I can't imagine I would have ever met Buck if I hadn't been through this and all
Right.
of the other amazing people that we've met, or that Rue's met. I mean, I haven't met most of them.
Right. But I mean, you've had to like pull out all the stuff because Rue was all happy and shiny and everything was in Michigan. I mean, your gear got stolen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so
Oh,
Leilah,
yeah.
I mean, Leilah, you had to like go, hey, like, how do you jump into action and how do you remedy that?
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? Like, that sucks. Downright. That's like poopy.
Oh, that was an experience,
Right?
And he called. It's one of the, there's certain things that always stick with you. That phone call, the very first phone call that we had, like, there's a lot of phone calls from him that stick in my head. That one in particular was just, I was like, wait, what? Wait,
I think it's because I was so subdued.
Well, it was not only because you were so subdued, it was also because you were calling me the day after it happened.
Yeah.
He called me on he calls me on a Saturday, and it had happened like Friday afternoon.
You're getting in trouble now.
I just slept in the woods for the night. I was like, I don't need gear, it's fine.
Oh, geez.
And Leilah didn't like that.
Yeah, no, I was like, this is not okay. What are we going to do? I'm like going through my stuff. Like, what can I send you? How do we figure this out? And some of it was the NCT kind of coming to the rescue.
Okay.
Some of it was.
Some of it really was. Like, they helped him kind of keep moving with just like, did they give you like just a little somebody gave us a loaner backpack and sleeping bags, and
they did all sorts of things. They shuttled me. Someone gave me let me borrow a quilt until I got across the Mackinac Bridge,
right?
And then I sent it back to them. I mean, it was a hodgepodge. Yeah,
but it was beautiful. It was amazing to see the communities come together.
Right.
A lot of it were NCT people, but we had people from all over once the word had spread, offering things. And I felt awful. At some point, I was like, I think I had to make an announcement. Like, we've got his gear temporarily pieced together. Right. Until and we reached, I reached out to the gear sponsors and just said, his stuff was all stolen. Like, what can you do? Like, this isn't a normal situation. And it's not like, we didn't nearly have any money to send him anywhere. There was no way he could have walked into REI and just bought a bunch of things.
No.
We didn't have any money for that. Nothing.
Right.
We It was just amazing.
I mean, and well, the most amazing part, like I said, is that they kept me going. So like,
Right.
Yes.
people would pass me off.
Mhm.
Like they would like shuttle me for 3 days or something, or borrow gear and then pass me off to another group of people, and then they would get me, and they just like kept me
That's
moving
amazing.
until things could happen. I I swear that is the only time I left my pack out of my sight during that entire trip. I
Wowzers.
swear, because I had such horrible pack anxiety separation
Yeah.
that I have to have my eyes on it at all time. And I went into a store and nature called, and nature was calling hard, and I
Yeah.
got stuck. And that's what happened. But the more remarkable thing is we were contacted a couple weeks later by someone unrelated to us that we didn't know in any kind of way, but I guess they had read online about this gear being missing. They happened to just be stopping there in Kalkaska to let the dog out to use the bathroom, and the coonhound Reginald went running back into the woods and got back into some brush and wouldn't leave something alone. It was like, leave it alone, leave it alone. And they went back there. It was half of my gear.
Wow.
And it came back with them, and it came back to me.
Yep, I've got it all. I've got it here. Yeah, I mean, it was all. And
Like-
the gentleman, he felt awful. He's like, some of it's been out in the rain, and it's no secret, but every single box that I send him always has a letter. I handwrite a letter to him. It was something I started from the very beginning of, just to like, it's a little touch of home, even though,
Sure.
it's not this isn't his home, but I was like, it's a little thing I could do. And he had saved those. And so the guy was like, they're all wet. And he took and he like hung them up, clipped them up. He had sent me pictures. Like, he made sure everything was dry, as good as he could get.
My pictures were in there. My pictures were in there.
Right.
Like, not my trip pictures, but my pictures of my loved ones.
Right.
Were in there too. And so someone that we had never met, we didn't even know had read our story online or anything. Somehow their coonhound in the middle of Michigan ends up finding.
Nobody goes to Kalkaska.
Yeah, ends up
trout fishing up there.
There is trout fishing, but
ends up finding. Well, they were just letting the dog out to take a leak, I gather.
Yeah.
And the dog, and not only do they find this stuff, but then somehow realize, like, I think this is Rue's stuff, and I don't know them. And then it somehow ends up back in Philadelphia at Leilah's house. So,
Yep. He shipped it to us. It was incredible.
Awesome. Well, that tells you what about a coonhound if you want.
Yeah, they'd be good to have. Agreed. So I ask about when you were in Michigan. So we had on who were the kids? Hiking America. I can't think. Who did the complete NCT, the 4,600 miles, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of what the two names are now. But anyways, they took the NCT, which takes you up in northern part of the UP. But you took the Iron Bell Trail.
Yes.
Which is the southern part of the UP. Am I right?
No. I'm sorry. I went up to Pictured Rocks.
Oh, you did Pictured Rocks?
Yes. No, I went up to Hamilton Falls and then up to Pictured Rocks. I'm sorry. I did. Excuse me. I talked about taking it exclusively, but I did not take it.
Okay.
And I did just send Buck like a map the other day of my Michigan map.
Okay.
Because it was like a road map, so it was like this big, but I like cut it with like a knife or something into the like shape of Michigan, and it's just got pencils and markers and stuff and crap all over, and it's all like crumbled in a ball. And I sent it to Buck in the mail like 2 days ago, because he likes that sort of stuff, and signed it for him. But there's like drainages. I mean, the Michigan map, it just looks like a total mess. So what you're going to see is not. You're not going to see the NCT going through Michigan. When I was going through there, I was identifying everything and anything I could, because keep in mind, like, part of the mission is not necessarily to just be overdeveloping trail that's already developed.
Right.
But there is still a lot of like roads on the NCT. So, I mean, that's something that is going to be like an ongoing process as well.
Right.
But so no, I'm sorry, I misspoke. That was an option, and I talked about it extensively, but I didn't end up taking it.
You didn't end up taking it. Okay. Because I
No.
know that makes a loop in Michigan. Like you can like take the NCT and I think connect with, I'm going over here now, but connect with the Iron Bell Trail to do some kind of a loop, right? Which is kind of cool.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. That's right. And I have talked about it on another podcast, and I have mentioned it. Yeah, I have. I've put it out there, and I've said that, you know, I've talked about it as being like an amazing Michigan through hike.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be great. It's this big, huge loop. It's awesome. It's totally doable. It would be great. But I was not trying to like do more loops and more states.
No, for sure. So we have similar gear. Like we have a Six Moons tent. You were using a Six Moons tent.
I'd used probably like 5 of them, probably 5 different models or so. Yeah.
And
you had a hammock for a while.
Yeah.
Hammock and tarps and tarp tents. Never a 4-season tent, even though I did hike through the winter.
Right.
I never used a 4-season. I probably could have used it a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of cowboy camping.
Right.
And and then Six Moons packs, I don't know, a lot, 5 packs.
Yeah.
The thing is, most of the time, if people through hike a trail that's over 2,000 miles, they're going to buy all their gear at the beginning.
Right.
And they're going to, for the most part, pretty much trash it in that 2,000 miles. They're pretty much that 2,000 miles. Everything's about 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
So if you're going over 12,000 miles, you can imagine you're doing that entire re-up like 6 times.
Right.
You know, and like however many pairs of shoes that is, which I don't know. I still don't. No we don't have a count.
20, you don't?
I don't know.
I'm shocked because people count them when they do their through hikes. You know what I mean?
I don't. Yeah, but I don't pay attention to anything. I mean,
he does not, and I didn't even
care.
think some of that.
I wouldn't even be able to tell you how many miles I've even ever hiked. You know, I just don't really pay attention to this sort of stuff. I get very focused into my route and like that kind of work. And the rest of it, it kind of gets lost on me.
All right, how many umbrellas do you think you went through? Because you just don't use you just don't use an umbrella for rain.
No.
What else do you use it for?
Well,
that's a fun one.
Oh, I'm naked. Oh,
you are naked. That's the naked photo.
Oh, no.
June 21st. Does that ring a bell?
Oh, no. I'm looking at this and I'm going, what is that? And then I'm like, where's my shirt? And then I'm going, oh, no.
That is your umbrella right there.
I'm not wearing any clothes.
What is going on?
Crossing.
Okay. So this is Naked Hiking Day.
We're expecting a repeat this year.
I did not.
Are you really?
I think I started.
There's a whole YouTube video of all of this. I took all of his videos that he took this day and compiled them into one big YouTube video. Yep, you can look it up. It's pretty entertaining.
I made a mistake. Okay. So I went through a lot of umbrellas. Montana. I basically, like, on a serious note, this past summer, I was in a heat dome for about 2 months. About every day around 1 or 2 o'clock, I would pretty much have a panic attack and throw up, and like I wouldn't have been able to pass like a field sobriety test. Like I was all wobbly, like dehydrated. And so I would, since there were no trees or shade, I would try to like huddle underneath my umbrella for like an hour or something. It never worked. There were so many grasshoppers, like, you know, I'd start to doze off and just kept bouncing off my face. So like, but I went through several umbrellas, but I used them for covering up privates and protecting sensitive areas from harmful UV rays, such as your crotch area. You know,
right?
I've never been burned bad down there, but I'm guessing it's not good.
It can't be good. No.
Oh,
I don't want to get that phone call. I'm good.
You don't want that phone call.
I've been to plenty of summer cookouts and seen people put hot dogs on the grill, and that's probably
stop.
that's probably as much as I need to know about that. But on the specific day, I got bad information. Okay, so the information that I got was I was going through an abandoned railroad tunnel. Okay, that was going to go on for a couple miles. It's going to be completely dark in there. There wouldn't be anyone in there. I didn't know if it was going to be safe. I knew it was 100 and some degrees out, and I knew it would be like 70 in there.
Right.
So I was going to take this railroad tunnel to an old railroad bridge that had never been used, that they built, and then they never ended up using it. And I was figuring that it was like not safe to cross. Like I was probably going to be like stepping between large pieces of trestle and stuff.
Right.
And I was going to be doing this naked, and there wasn't going to be anyone around. And I got in the tunnel, and then there were people in the tunnel. And so I walked past someone in the tunnel, and I just turned off my headlamp, and they had no idea.
Oh, geez.
Like that there was a naked guy walking past them, but no idea. And so then I exit the tunnel, and I get to the bridge, which is just, I think, this old rickety whatever bridge. It's been refurbished, and now it's like a pedestrian bridge that's attached to a very popular park in the area, and there's people, and I'm going, oh no. And I got the umbrella, and they're coming by the droves, and I'm trying to figure out how to like get dressed with one hand while holding this umbrella. It was a mess. It was a mess.
And film it.
Yeah, and try to film it, but no animals were hurt in the making of the filming.
That's
And so that's the best we can do.
I'm sorry, that was so cute. I was like, what? But apparently it's June 21st is Naked Hiking Day, National Naked Hiking Day, just for the
summer solstice
for everybody.
every year.
I didn't get the memo on that one.
Well, it's June 21st is coming, honey.
It's real easy. Like, have fun. Don't be a creep. Don't be a creep. Just have fun.
Put sunscreen on if you have sensitive areas exposed.
For sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what is next? So I know that, like, honestly, you hike for the love, you hike for, every single day, you camp every dark night for the APT kind of stuff. Like, what is next? How can we help? How can we do this?
I'll speak directly to what's coming directly next, but I'll have Leilah maybe speak a little bit just talk about where we're heading.
Do you want to kick it off? Go ahead. Go for it.
Okay. I mean, I'll tell you the immediate. The immediate is the very immediate is I'm hopping on a plane to go to San Diego to rescout the APT down there. I will be spending some time on the Pacific Crest Trail. I haven't backpacked around people in a long time, so that'll be a new experience for me.
Keep your clothes on.
And I will keep my clothes on, and I'm excited to be down in that area. I have mapped out a bunch of new routes that are heading over into Arizona and to New Mexico, and hope to check out some of that stuff while I'm down there. I will be on foot, though. I will be backpacking.
Okay.
So I'm not like driving around in a camper. I'm going to be backpacking. I will probably, I more than likely will be a 2-time PCTer in like another 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
And just as like, I'm not even trying to do it on purpose. I don't care about the glory. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's just like, it may happen that way. So I will be in Southern California. I'll come back to Bend for a couple weeks. And then I finished the American Perimeter Trail. I technically, to close the loop, only have like 4 days of walking left. I got really sick and came off. So I only have like 4 days, but I'm going to walk basically from Central Washington to Central Oregon, and it will close the entire gap.
He'll have had a continuous footpath.
And that's so, I mean, I've pretty much hiked it at this point, but that will make it continuous. And then I'll finish in Bend, Oregon, where I began. And that's where we'll have a big event in the last week of July. So that's what comes for the APT.
Okay.
During that time, we celebrate. We soak up as much press as we can. We talk about the organization as much as we can. And then we have to start directly after that getting into action. So what that looks like for us is, well, a conference. So, I mean, I'll let Leilah speak a little bit about some of that too.
The conference is still to be determined how we're actually going to run all of that. But that's definitely in the works. And we are throwing a huge party in Bend, Oregon at the end of July. And you're all invited. So please come out to Bend. If you've never been to Bend, it's incredible. I was there last May and fell in love with it and just didn't want to leave. So come out, come hang out. And celebrate. We'll, if you can't be there in person, I'm sure we'll have some type of virtual streaming options.
Right.
We're still trying to figure it all out. But if you want to get involved, we are a nonprofit organization. We offer memberships. So you can head over to our website, AmericanPerimeterTrail.org. You can become a member. It's $35 for the year. If you don't have $35, we offer a payment plan. So $6, every other month. Because he and I both get it. We've both been there at times in our life where neither one of us have $35.
Had $35, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we really tried to make it accessible to everybody.
Absolutely.
Well, you count us in.
Yeah.
We take contributions, so you can make contributions there. We have stuff up in the store to buy. Everything that you get from us, that goes right back into the conference. So that goes into funding his hikes. That goes into anything and everything else that we need to get done. So we have all of that. We have a very small YouTube channel. I manage that. So, I only have so much time there.
It's hard. It is hard. There's so much to do for sure.
Yeah. Oh, well, and so I cover Rue's never kidding when he says I do everything else in the front country. As much as we have a board now, the Facebook and Instagram and the website and the YouTube, that's all me. We have a wonderful WordPress is helping us with the website. So that's
and the store.
And the store.
And the merchandise.
Yeah, like you are thebomb.com, Leilah. Like honestly, seriously, like you are.
If you send an email, I'll probably be the one answering the email.
Good.
So yeah, like that. Those are all the different ways to kind of find us.
Okay.
And just share the word, spread the word, like share our story and what we've got going on. We are a family. We have Saturday night. We have happy hour. Come hang out at happy hour. If you're a member, you get in for free. Otherwise, we ask for a $5 contribution, to kind of offset the costs. It's a lot of fun. We will make you laugh. It's a lot of what happens in happy hour stays in happy hour.
Oh, it's my kind of happy hour.
It is. We crack jokes. We are usually pretty light and just fun. And it's also a chance that, if you had a question, ask. Like it's a chance to it's me and Rue and the rest of the board and anybody else that wants to come. We have other stuff. We're going to have our race coming up soon, a virtual race where you can log miles. We're going to have a trivia night. We're going to have bingo coming up. We've got lots of little fun things all planned for when he goes out.
Incredible. I think that's the whole thing too. I mean, you're reaching.
What would be fun?
Oh geez, what?
Virtual Yahtzee.
How do you do that? Oh, I guess you can have your own Yahtzee game. That's true.
Everybody has a Yahtzee game, and you just keep your score up.
And actually, the Yahtzee is one of those games that we actually take on our backpacking trips. So when we go backpacking, we always take a few of the sheets and
it's
the
lightweight.
Dice.
It packs down.
I've seen it. I've seen it before.
Yeah, that's a good idea, honey.
Thank you.
It was so distracting to a group that was playing inside of a tent that I had a tree fall on me. That was not this trip. This was the first trip.
Okay.
This was the first tree.
That was the first time the tree fell on you.
This was the day before I finished the Appalachian Trail, Mount Katahdin, and I had a tree fall on me during a storm.
Right.
And it was already dark, and I went up to, I tried to go find some neighbors, and it was a bunch of people in a tent playing Yahtzee, and I'm outside the tent. I'm hurt. I can't get my stuff set back up. I'm too hurt to do it.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, hey, guys, I just, it's storming. And I'm like, a tree just fell on me. Could you guys help me? They just continued on with the game.
Oh no, we were with a bad Yahtzee memory.
They were just like so into the Yahtzee, and I understood. Finally, one came out and was like, "Dude, were you like joking or something?" I was
You're
like,
like,
"No," and they're like, "Oh no, oops!" And then of course,
brother.
but not everyone gave up the Yahtzee game to come help. Some people had to hang in there. They had
Maybe
to
you
hang
won't
in
play
there.
Yahtzee. It's a bad memory.
That's
Oh,
it's traumatizing.
Right? Exactly. So, I mean, if we bought a t-shirt or someone bought a sweatshirt, whatever, right? I mean, that
Yeah.
money goes directly to help the APT.
Yeah,
right?
It really does.
Okay.
to if someone wants to contribute directly to like the trekking that I'm doing this spring and this summer,
Right.
or just to kind of keep me going with the work that I'm doing, they can contribute to me directly.
Okay.
If they choose to. They can do that on our website, or they can do that at
Okay.
ruemchenrick.weebly.com
Okay.
if they choose to do that. But that's, you have to actually go out of your way
to do that. Yeah.
Where
Otherwise,
you're like,
everything goes straight through the conference.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You actually have to like find the way to get through to actually even do that. Otherwise, if you spend any money there, everything is going through the nonprofit and is tax deductible.
Yep.
So
Right.
everything.
Okay.
We'll have merchandise up for pre-order soon. We were just talking about that at our board meeting.
Okay.
Our store is relatively small, but we'll have more stuff coming up soon just because we are so small and we're cash flow as always.
Right. Oh,
We don't have a
absolutely.
giant store, but we have stickers and patches, and there are some
That's
shirts
awesome.
and things in there, and we're always open for ideas. If you've got other ideas, there's a volunteer form on there. If
Okay,
you think you might
perfect.
want to help out.
Okay.
Well, that cocktail napkin's on the top of the list.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
it is. I love
And
that.
well, this is something I think is very pertinent, and I can't get off of here without telling you all this. The Michigan Trail is not done. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
The Michigan Trail is not the NCT. So when you asked about the Iron Bell,
Right.
that's why I had so much interest in like trying to do side trips as I could,
Mhm.
and trying to mix it up as much as I can. So we do have the first shelter and in Michigan, but just so that the APT is going to be, I have my idea. Okay. This was my baby. This was my idea. And I could have done anything I wanted to. I always knew that I was going to hand this over to the public.
Ooh.
I always knew that I was going to now I still have some intellectual property because I'm the only one who actually knows where the route is.
Mhm.
And there are app companies that are asking me for that information.
I would think so.
Yes, everybody wants it.
Right.
But
I don't have it. I don't have any of it.
I'm
Right.
I'm the only one that has it. But the point is, the APT in Michigan is not decided, and it is not done. We can have stand-ins, we can have conversations about this, but the APT in Michigan is going to be decided by not me, but by the people of Michigan.
Okay.
You will decide your Michigan American Perimeter Trail, just as they're going to in Texas. They're going to build the Texas Trail. You guys are going to build the Michigan Trail.
Okay.
We're going to build the Louisiana Trail.
It's a little different concept than what the other organizations have done and used, but we have a chance to do things the way that we see fit. And that ownership that we saw with the NCT and those groups, and how much people valued that, because they were so proud of the sections that they maintained, and not that they aren't on the other groups, but it was just this different feel that we wanted to find a way to foster that and how that would build our organization. So what we keep talking about is those individual state trails that are part of the APT. They're owned by those local people, because when it's your own piece, there's a whole different set of pride in there. You get to go out on this land and go explore, and you own it. That's yours.
And
it's protected by us.
And I have no concern about Michigan whatsoever. There's other places where I'm going to need a lot of buy-in.
Yep.
and I'm going to need a lot of local help for buying. Michigan, I don't have any concern.
Okay.
You folks are outdoors people. You have
Mhm.
lots of trails. You have lots of snowmobile trails.
Yeah.
You have a national scenic trail. You have the Iron Bell Trail that we've talked about. You have beautiful seashores. You have so much to offer. And the people in Michigan were some of the most engaged people that I met anywhere in the country. I have no concern about Michigan whatsoever. Now, what is it going to look like? I can tell you right now, my opinion, it's not mine anymore.
Okay.
I handed it over. And when I did that, I gave up my rights, and I'm happy to do it because I don't know much.
So we will be, you were asking about how people can get involved. We
Right.
will be looking for people to help lead these types of
Right.
projects and
Well,
things. So,
Exactly.
you know, fill
We'll
out
be
the
more than happy to
volunteer
help
form,
out.
send us an email, you know,
Right.
somehow reach out to us and let us know, you know, who you are and what it is that you're interested in doing. And the board is trying to kind of navigate through all of that, of course, while he's, you know, getting ready to go on trail. So my life's about to explode.
Yes, you're gonna. It's
This
gonna
morning
change
I made
so
my
quick
first
then.
post office trip to get the last of the gear out to him that was
Yeah.
sitting here at my house. So first of many.
Amazing.
And I also wanted to say, like, you know, if the people of Michigan, if they decide that they want the NCTA to be a shared footbed, and that's how they want that to work,
Okay.
then that's a possibility too. I'm not ruling this out. I'm just saying that it looks like it's up to me. I do get a lot of input, but that's because I have a lot of information.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that I have better ideas than
Right.
people who live in their own regions. And I'm not here to tell you what you need to do with your state and with your property. So,
And it is all about a collaboration, you know, and I feel like it just that goes farther. It really does.
Just one word.
Yeah.
Community.
Community. It is absolutely for sure. I gotta just show you this. Someone just said, forget about a book. Let's get the documentary and miniseries going. I like that, but PG, please. No umbrella
PG?
wearing, I'm sure.
Whoa,
boy.
the APT PG. Uh-oh.
That's too
Uh-oh.
many initials
To
there.
see
Oh, no.
how this project develops. That's exciting.
Hey, thanks, guys.
You know,
Yeah.
like that's really fun. I love this too. Purple Blazes, the all purple trail, the APT. I like that.
Oh, love it. Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
right? People thinking outside the box.
I just did just a little quick look up. It says, well, the color of purple has quite a few meanings, but the first ones that pop out is wisdom, bravery, and spirituality.
Oh,
that's Rue to a T.
It's amethyst is my birthstone.
Oh, is
and
it?
I'm an Aquarius. And,
Okay.
And I was, you know, I just had my birthday here.
Yeah, you did February.
And
Yeah.
so it's been something that I've carried with me, you know, on the trip. So
I feel like all the support is in the house tonight for sure. You guys have been amazing, like super, super fun. And then one thing that you've always done, and any of your like Instagram posts, even just like whatever, you're always singing, like you're singing, you're doing things. You always have like little music quotes, like, you know, around words on your Instagram and stuff like that. Are you a musician? I mean, I see a guitar behind you.
Yeah, no. So I like to write songs.
I know the song.
And
Are you
so
gonna sing one for us?
And so I wrote a lot of songs when I was out there hiking, and sometimes I would sing them. You know, that's new for me. I mean, Leilah, when she came on, she was like, you need to post on social media. We're not going to have any money or supporters. I was like, I do post on social media. She was like, once a week or once every 2 weeks. I was like, that's plenty. Like, that's more than enough. Like, people don't want to see me more than once every couple of weeks. Seriously. And she's like, no, you need to post all the time. And it's really brought me out of my shell, which is what's happened. So yeah, like I've been, you know, lucky.
He is a musician. All the music that you hear in our YouTube videos, that's him.
Right.
Everything, all of that background music is him.
Right. Hiked on Me. Does that sound familiar?
What's that?
Hiked on Me.
Oh yeah, I had some friends, but they all hiked on me.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer. And the thing is, I think it's self-projection, because if you ask my friends, they're gonna say I'm the one that hiked on
They
them,
got out of there.
Yep.
not the other way around. But that there's funny pieces to that song, but really there's some truth to it. Especially because when I started backpacking a little over 20 years ago, there wasn't social media and people didn't stay in touch. We sent postcards
Mhm.
sometimes phone calls, but I mean, it wasn't really goodbye was kind of goodbye.
Right.
So if you were in this cycle, which I was through my 20s, of seasonally working and then hiking a long trail, and then seasonally working and hiking a long trail, it was just this revolving door of people. And at the end of the seasonal work, see you later, hope to see you again. And the same with the trail. You finish the trail and see you later. And, there wasn't kind of like these more convenient ways of us staying connected to each other. So,
Right.
when I sing that song, I'm joking around and I'm having fun, but those are real people.
Okay.
They're caricatures.
Okay.
Okay. But those are real. It's not their real names. It's not like to a T, but those are real people in my life that I swear every day someone new comes into my mind, and it's just like I haven't thought about them in 17 years.
Right.
And we're so close on the trail. We haven't talked.
Right.
And so, though I have fun with that song, those are real people, and it's based off of just the transient kind of lifestyle.
Right. Absolutely. For
Mhm.
sure.
Mhm.
Wow. Layla, thank you so much for
Oh, yeah.
connecting with us. Like, I just can't even tell you, like, just like super, super amazing. And I just wanted a couple things. So one is I'm excited here, right, to see how the trail will travel through Texas.
Me too.
So are we.
Look
I
at
got
this.
some great ideas.
Just
but-
got my confirmation email. I'm an APT member now.
Oh, thank
Welcome
you,
to the
All Terrain.
Fun, right? So hey,
Yay.
that's so fun.
Well,
Thank you.
we'll be signing up
Oh,
after
yeah.
we get off here.
He's already been looking on stuff already.
I got
so-
the website up, so I'm looking at the long sleeve T-shirt. It's like that's
yeah, they look
really
nice. I know. I love the logo for sure.
The Sport Tech.
Yeah,
And
they're
that's what we wanted to chat about tonight. Just how imperative, you know what I mean, and how cooperative you guys work together, and how lucky we are, right, that we're gonna get to enjoy the APT and this conservation corridor,
And hopefully help out.
I already have an idea, but we're going to talk backstage after this. I don't want to say it out loud, but yeah, yeah, I know.
You guys get a chance to be a part of positive history. We've all lived through a lot of
amazing.
negative
That's
history
right.
the last 2 years.
Yes, yes,
You know,
absolutely.
this is a chance to be a part of this
Right.
wonderful positive movement, and you will be amazed the more you get involved with us how it trickles down into your life. I joined this and partnered with Rue just out of that little voice in my head.
Right.
And it wasn't but 2 weeks later or so when he called me and had said he was in West Texas and had no money and no food, and I panicked. And
Mhm. I was used to it.
He's used to it. I am not. And I had to go to my second job after getting this voicemail, and I come home and my kids are here and they're like, what's going on? And I'm just like, this guy that I'm helping out doesn't have any food and doesn't have any money. And we had just sent him like a teeny tiny box that had like some oatmeal packets in it, like nothing.
Right.
And my kids disappear and they come back down and they've got like their wallets and their piggy banks.
Stop
and they're
it.
right. Like, honest to God, I was just like, and that was maybe like 2 weeks in. And that's what I mean about it's family, and it's going to come into these different parts of your life in these different ways. The packages come from Amazon to feed him, and they carried me through so much of the pandemic. And, I'm a single parent and it gets lonely and it gets rough. And I get this box and it's just got, like rice or ramen packets or whatever it is in it. It's nothing special other than it was bought out of the goodness of somebody's heart in the most part for a complete and total stranger. And so it's just this little box of love that I get to kind of package up and get a little piece of and then send off to him. And it's been this
Awesome.
incredible experience, and I'm so grateful for it. And I
Hey,
want
stop right now. I can't handle
like I just want everybody to be a part of it so that you can come experience the love and the family that we are. And you know, we're not kidding about making history, but we really are this family, and we just welcome everybody. So please come join us, come hang out with us, and
Absolutely.
it's wonderful.
I put all of your YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and your webpage in the chat. So
awesome.
anybody
Thank
who
you.
watches today and who watches the rerun will
Right.
they will see all the links in the chat. So
That's awesome. What a fun time tonight. Awesome. And thank you so much for like getting it out, sharing with us, and spreading the word of the
I'm excited.
ATT. I know. I'm super excited too.
well, I'm going to be buying a shirt.
You
right now,
guys
so.
are
It'll
You
come.
guys
They're
are
sitting
love
right
it.
next to me.
right. There we go.
I got the royal blue one picked out.
Get out of there. Awesome.
Well, hey, you guys, it's been a wonderful chatting with you, and so inspirational and informational.
So good.
So yes, everybody in the chat, check them out.
Absolutely.
Please do whatever you can if you can do anything. And yeah, I look forward to helping out on the trail around here.
For sure, guaranteed. So you guys stick around. All right, John will drop you down there.
Drop you down. We can do a little outro.
Awesome. Oh my gosh.
That was so awesome.
I love it. Absolutely
Yes.
love it. So amazing. So
I know where I'm going to help out.
I know my head's spinning. I can't wait. I want to say it out loud.
It's called the UP.
I know, and I want to say it, but we're going to say it backstage because I feel like there's some exciting things that can happen. But anyways, like John said,
Minds are
like
working.
Rue said, like Layla Grace had mentioned, like get out there. We can do our part. Whatever this is a big deal. This is super, super exciting.
Yeah.
And I mean, anything
I can be-
grassroots,
If
which
we
is
can be a
kinda-
part of it, why the hell not?
Absolutely. So thank you everybody for sticking around. And
great group of people.
yeah,
in the
really
chat.
interactive. Love that as well, which is really cool. The other thing is, if you know a backcountry couple that wants to come and hang out and do a little chit chat with us like that, we are booking into May and June right now.
Mhm.
So, and then again, think out of the box. Doesn't necessarily need to be a romantic couple, although we like those too. It could also be this wonderful, supportive couple.
Absolutely.
So thank you so very much for hanging out.
Yes.
Right on.
Until next time.
Next week.
Same bat channel, same bat time.
You've never said that before. Where'd that come from?
It's called Off the
Oh my God.
Off
Anyways,
the
thank
cuff.
you so very much, everybody. Have a great night.
Y'all have a great night. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there, and we will see you